Good morning, Millennial Morticians. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of this incredible podcast. Happy Wednesday. I hope you guys are excited for who I have on the episode for today. Special guests lined up for the rest of this year, and next year has so many more things to offer. First and foremost, I want to thank the sponsors of today's video. Check them out, faveo.org. If you need funeral service live streaming simplified, be sure to check them out. I have two young millennials with us today, two special guests, and I hope you guys are ready to receive them as they share their story with us. Welcome, Allison and Allison from Foundation Partners.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi. Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm glad to have you.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. I think you guys have a unique story, so let's jump right into it.
Yeah, thanks.
As young professionals yourselves, what has mentorship meant to you so far in your career, and how has it shaped the way you show up in the field?
Yeah, that's a big question. I'm going to dive into it hard, and then Hensey's going to take over. We're both very passionate about mentorship and sort of how we got here, right? So I was a mentor to Miss Allison when she joined funeral service. She did fabulous. But it came by a difficult sort of path, right? Mm-hmm. So I graduated mortuary science school in 2012. Okay. And right out of school, here in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, the market was pretty saturated with funeral directors. So there wasn't a lot of opportunities. I ultimately took a position up about 45 minutes away from the cities here. And that initial preceptorship that I had was not ideal, I guess I'll put it that way. It was a difficult place to work, and the way that I needed to learn wasn't necessarily the way that they wanted to teach. But also just the culture there was a little rough. They were sort of that old school mind of like, you're just going to learn embalming because I pushed you into the embalming room and said, good luck. The door's locked. Okay, not really. But I learned to embalm without help, right? Back. And then when it came to like things like arrangements or serving families, it was a lot of watching and sort of waiting to get in and get in and work with families, which was what I was passionate about, and that opportunity just never came. As a young person, I was 21 at the time, I kind of just believed what I was being told, right? When they came and one day they took out a bunch of proofs I had made for a memorial card, and we did everything by scratch, right? So I prepared all these memorial cards I was going to print, and they came to me and they said, look at these. How could you waste the paper to print these? This is horrible. What's wrong with you? And I was like, okay. And I stuck it out for a few months, and I have these experiences of like sealing one of those niche urns, you know what I'm talking about?
Right.
The niche urns where they seal shut, that's it, right?
That's it.
I sealed one of them shut, not knowing the family had come back and purchased a keepsake. And they were like, we are docking this from your pay. Like, I can't believe you would do this. You know, a pretty simple mistake that you make when you're new. Yeah. And just chastised. Made to feel like I was an idiot and I shouldn't be here. And I should have probably known that was maybe a little bit toxic of a work environment if they were bringing like dryer lint from the dryer and saying, what are you trying to burn the place down? Shaking dryer lint at you. There were probably some cues, but young little Allison's like, hey.
And you need the hours, right? You need that to get your license, so it's hard. It's hard,
exactly. Right? I was like, oh my gosh, I'm the worst. I can't do this. I should not be a funeral director. Like, I've never been bad at anything I've done, and here are these funeral directors, and they're telling me I'm not good at this. I can't be a funeral director, is how they made me feel. So I left the field, I went back to nursing. I was like, I was great at that. Maybe that was my path. I wasn't meant to be a funeral director, and kind of left with my tail between my legs. A few months later, I interviewed at another funeral home. I kind of talked through with some friends. My now husband, who was my boyfriend at the time, was also a funeral director. And of course, right, we all know each other, or are married to each other.
Yeah, that's true.
And you know, people are like, I think it was specific to them. I don't think it was you. I think you should try again. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna try again. And I did an interview at the U of M. It was with a funeral home owner. We just had this great connection off the bat, just having the best interview I think I've ever had with someone. Literally like talking about changing bedpans. Like, oh yeah, now I got the job. I secured the job with the bedpans. But I joined this group of incredible funeral directors here in the Twin Cities. Tried again, right? And it was just such night and day difference. I had these people supporting me that, you know, I think I had made a mistake. I go back to that niche mistake where they're like, we're going to dock your pay. What have you done? In this situation, I must have messed up a card or something, and it was going to cost the company some amount of money. And my preceptor was just like, well, no one's going to beat you up more than you're already beating yourself up. So don't do that again. You going to do it again? Oh, okay. Okay, well, let's keep going. Right? Learn from your mistakes and move on. We don't need to dwell on it. Right? You're going to... Have you ever, Jaden, like, done something where it affected a family?
As an apprentice, yes. I can think of a number of things that I've done.
You up. Tears you up.
That I'm like, you know, in my head, we can fix that? Can we fix that? Is that even fixable? And, you know, you're not the one that's doing the fixing because you made the mistake, but, like, you know the behind-the-scenes work as a director that the things they're going to have to do to make it right, to fix it. So that scares you even more, right? So,
yeah.
And people are emotional.
Instead of, like, feeling terrified. Yeah. I felt like, oh, you're here to help me. That's awesome. I'm supported here.
Yeah.
And I finished I worked there for about 5 years, and that was really the theme there, is we help each other, we support each other, and it was a safe place to learn. And I appreciate that immensely. So, I mean, that, as I moved on with Cremation Society and joined that team, I sort of took over training all of the new funeral directors over the years, and just both of those experiences, even though they were both, one was not great and one was awesome, had that opportunity to use what I've learned to train new people and say, hey, it's a mistake and it did affect a family, but you're a people, I'm a people, we make mistakes.
Absolutely.
And we're just going to keep moving.
Absolutely. And you learn from it.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
Mm-hmm.
So
go ahead.
Go ahead. Are you going to do your introduction, Allison?
I'll say Hens. Yeah, this one.
Yes, Allison Hens.
So I had a completely opposite experience as an intern, mostly thanks to Robert Archbold, who was my preceptor. He's fantastic. I cannot say enough great things about him, and Allison here. I made a lot of mistakes, one of them being a pretty bad one. I buried somebody with jewelry on that the family wanted back. I thought for sure, oh my God, I'm going to get fired. This is awful. I'm going to lose my job. This is not for me. And I came from also a healthcare background where I was so good at my job. Like, I could do that in my sleep. So making a mistake like that, all he said was, well, you're never going to do that again, are you? I said, absolutely not. Allison, the icon that she is, one of her lines that she said, and it stuck with me, was, a mistake is only a mistake if you don't learn from it. And I haven't done that since.
Yeah.
So
that's the business we're in. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, You can't make a mistake. You're going to make a mistake. But we're trained in mortuary school. We're trained through our apprenticeships to think that everything has to be perfect every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deliver
Have family
every
drill
time.
at home too. Yeah.
Yeah. So both of you are bringing me back to some mistakes I made. I can just go through a ton of them in my head. And I was like, dang, I did that.
Yeah. The best ones are the ones no one knows about, right?
Yeah.
Right. The ones that no one knows about, or the ones that my boss, just covered for me that I didn't even know that I did, or mistakes that I made, and they just were able to help me through it and learn through it. Just with experience, because that's the only way you can learn this. Is you can talk about scenarios and situations a million times, but unless you go through it yourself and you feel what they feel and you feel what the family feels, then that's the only way you really learn. So
and it's different once you're doing it, right? Like the pressure, you're doing 3 things at once. You can't really understand that until you're in the heat of it.
It's scary and nerve-wracking. Like the smallest thing could make or break that service, and you only have that one time.
Yeah.
Like
I heard it like this. It's not like a wedding. Weddings, you can get, you can do a wedding again. You can get remarried, but you can only have one funeral.
Yeah.
Only have one funeral, so it's harder to tighten up. So I have to ask questions for the both of you. What qualities do you believe make a mentor truly impactful for millennials and Gen Z entering funeral service today? Because it's a different landscape.
It is.
Yeah, very. I think it's a big problem we have right now. I probably have always had, right? I think, what's the burnout rate?
So our burnout rate is really bad. It's nearly 70% of people that go into the field. Like 46% of interns stay after the first year. Like it's astronomical. It's huge, the amount of people that leave and don't even get their full mortician's license.
And is that after graduating? And I really believe that. I just graduated in May, so seeing classmates that made and didn't, I believe it.
It's sad.
Is that after mortuary college, or is that just after the licensing and everything's been done? It's still a high burnout rate.
After the internship, I think maybe this also has a lot to do with the people who don't have the good mentor.
Yeah, and that comes back to the question you asked.
Like I had, people who had Allison's first experience.
Mm-hmm.
I probably would have gone back to nursing too and been like, heck with this. I'm going to stick with what I'm good at and what I know. I think if people were more empathetic, like Allison and my preceptor were right off the bat, and realized we're just people serving people, and we all need to be better and supportive for each other, that I think we would keep a lot more people. Allison is amazing at retaining staff. She's supportive and kind, and she's great at teaching and mentoring and making people want to stay. And she's so passionate about her job and so excited to be here every day. It makes me excited to do good at my job, and just makes me want to be better.
Wow,
so I think new people coming into the field see that, and they're like, hey, she's so great, she's so knowledgeable, I want to do just as good as she does, and I want to make her proud, and I want to be a great funeral director too. At least that's how it was for me.
And I like you guys are pointing out something important. I'm sorry to interrupt, but having a good preceptor makes a difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's where we're losing people. We're hemorrhaging people. One, because funeral homes may only be able to support 2 funeral directors, right? And if that other person that you're joining doesn't want to train or doesn't want to teach, they're not gonna, and then you're not gonna keep the person that is here to help you. But also, I think that depending on who's training you, there's a lot of I don't want to do that removal. I've been doing it for 30 years. I don't need to learn anything. You go do it, intern. And you don't know what you're doing because it's your first year and you screw up and then they yell at you.
Have fun in the hoarder house.
Yeah.
Figure that
out. Good luck. Look out for the bugs.
Yeah.
Good luck on your own.
Good luck.
But it's, I think there's just so much of people saying, I don't want to do this, so that I'm going to make the intern do it. And instead of supporting them and helping them through something, they're just going to kick you out and say, good luck.
And to add to that, and I think it's a difference because a lot of people forget, or a lot of people don't know, interns don't usually get paid because the hours are worth so much more, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
that's a big thing. I think that's also a driving factor as why it's harder for people to match with funeral homes and to get the internships because like most people still want to get paid to be an intern. I was very fortunate at my funeral home to still get paid as an intern, but a lot of my classmates didn't have that. You know, couldn't say that we're getting paid to be an intern, and that makes it difficult. That puts her when you're trying to get in the industry and you sacrifice in the beginning. You sacrifice so much in the beginning to get in the door. It makes it's like you really have to ask yourself, well, is this worth it? Going to have a salary in the next 3 or 4 years? Is it worth it now? And the longevity. So it makes a difference. And I know some classmates of mine in the past that couldn't do it because maybe they didn't get in at the right funeral home in the beginning. And that just turned them off the funeral industry altogether.
Yep.
So I like the point you guys are making that you're bringing people's attention to because it's not really talked about a lot.
No.
From both sides, from the mentor or mentee side. So
yeah, and then you have such a disparity in directors that are needed in some states and the ones that are available to do the job, and it's insurmountable.
Right, getting through that, you know, you could graduate mortuary college and make it. That's great because mortuary school is supposed to weed people out, but after you do that, you still have to get through the national board. You still have to get through the tests, and that can take out a lot of people, right? So
that does. Yeah.
You could stop. You could be a great person, but that test may feel like it's too hard. You might not have the support to have people help you out and teach you, and you might not be able to afford the testing materials to know the test and to learn about it, and your journey has stopped right there. So having somebody who can like, no, you can do this, you can make it, which Allison Hines seems like what you had here. Allison, she seems really passionate about it and has a drive for it and knows it in and out because she had to deal with the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. So, can you
share that knowledge, right?
That makes all the difference. Like having somebody that is one, a good teacher, two, is like empathetic and is willing to learn with you on your level. What's also important too is, hey, I made these mistakes. Don't do this. Like these are all the first year struggles. This is know what you're taking on and being just honest with people. Like I think we're doing people a disservice if we tell interns your first year is going to be so easy. You're going to love it right away. You're not going to have any hard times. Like I cried so much,
and so many people do.
It's so hard.
I was one of those people.
Me too. Like you have stacks of files and you're doing arrangements every day. You're working services. It's
learning to embalm.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I'll be the first to admit, I've definitely cried some tears. It's probably the first time on my podcast has even heard it. As an apprentice, the Millennial Mortician has cried tears behind learning funeral services because it is hard in the beginning, and it's not a job where you can just talk to your family about it. Like, do you get me? You understand what I'm saying? And they can't get you. They don't understand what you're saying, so you feel like you're by yourself. Yeah.
And you're figuring out the on-call schedule and how that's a whole nother animal. That's wild.
Yeah.
It's a lot of adjustments. And I think not enough people pay attention to those life adjustments. Yeah.
I always tell people the first year is hard and it sucks. And the only way through it is through it.
And it makes or breaks people, and unfortunately it breaks the vast majority of them.
Yes, it does. Next year makes 7 years, and thankfully I've cried still. I'm still alive to tell the story.
I still do too. Don't feel bad.
Yeah. I'm like going on 15, and I'll cry. Yeah.
Can you share a moment when someone has guided or supported you in a way that made a real difference in your confidence, your skill, or your direction in your life?
Yeah. You go. Okay. So, when I was first starting, and I was working services. Church services are a whole different thing, like Catholic church services. Kind of how it went with my preceptor. He would say, "Okay, watch me at this service," and then I would do more and more kind of as things went. And eventually it got to the point where I was so confident. He was watching me and I was running the service, talking to the pallbearers, telling asking the church ladies, like, where does this go? Or telling the sweet ladies in the kitchen.
The count.
Yeah, telling them the count. And then at one point he's like, if I knew you were going to be this good today, I wouldn't even have came in. And it kind of happens naturally. Like, he was so good about teaching me things. I was learning without like understanding I was learning. Like, all of a sudden I was just running the show and it just felt natural. And you get to the cemetery and all of a sudden I'd be like, okay, so which way are we going on? And then you'd know how to like tell the pallbearers to stand to take the casket out. And for some reason that always intimidated me. I was so scared I was going to put the casket on the wrong way for whatever reason. But then you do it right and you're like,
which way's the head?
Yeah.
That's the question every funeral director asks, right?
I get so scared. And then you're like, wow, I did that all on my own.
The cemetery goes like feet to the east.
Yeah, which way is the east?
Do I look like someone who knows where the east is?
Every way I look is north.
Right.
I don't even know.
Right.
I don't know what east is. This way, it's just a word.
No, I don't know what way that is.
Yeah.
But I was just amazed by how much I knew that I didn't know that I knew until I had to like do it on my own. And it's like, I can do this. Okay, this is good. And it's because he was so great at teaching me and so patient. Oh my gosh. Yeah, endlessly patient. And I'd never felt stupid asking a question, even if it was probably a dumb question. He's like, how don't you know this? But I'll tell you anyways. He like never made me feel dumb. Yeah. He was so encouraging and still is. Like, I could ask him a question. We still work really closely together. And he always makes me feel supported.
Yeah, I feel that way about all my preceptors. They have gone above and beyond, and I call at any time of day, ask questions, and just get
so great
and clarity. Sometimes it just feels good. Like, am I right? I know I said this, but
yeah,
this is right. Am I still
a second opinion?
Absolutely. So
I'm glad you had those preceptors.
It makes a difference. You don't take it for granted because you know how hard it was, or or how much harder it could have been. And now I'm on that last leg. God's will, I take the state test this month, so I learn. Yay! I lean off of from
you're gonna nail it.
Apprentice to licensor or licensee, and I don't know the exact term phrase. I move on to that role, so it's exciting. It's a lot. You're taking on a lot more, but I trained for this, so I'm ready.
You are ready. You know more than you think you know.
Yeah. I just have to live in it, right? So from your experiences, what do you think young professionals bring to funeral services that strengthens the future of our profession and what we do?
New opinions and new, like, fresh ideas, which are amazing because we always need to grow. Funeral service kind of as a whole tends to stay sort of stagnant.
Yeah.
And it's this is how we've always done it for like 125,000 years. So this is how we're going to continue to do it.
Sounds accurate.
But
you mummify people still.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So we need all the new ideas we can get. They bring like such great energy. Like Franklin.
And like more, our coworker Franklin, he teaches us stuff
every day. Microsoft To Do, amazing. Have you used that? You should.
I need to try it out. And that's another thing, our lag in technology. I mean, in mortuary college, you don't learn about tech. You don't learn about, you learn the hands-on stuff. So, like, when my friends are like, when I'm on Instagram or I'm on TikTok and I'm on these different platforms, I'm like, so what button, how does this work? And, I'm 22, but even I don't understand it because I never... You don't think about that stuff, you don't learn about
funeral
tech.
Service. When I started, I had a pager. We used typewriters. This was 14 years ago, you guys.
For the death certificates, typewriters?
No, it was like for labels, but still.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Wow. A pager.
Wow.
I have a coworker. I hired him as a director only because one night when I was on call, he paged me and it just said boobs.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I look at my pager. I'm like, that's hilarious.
That's funny.
And I also it's not a dead person, so what a lucky day this is.
So yeah, you have to have people that have that sense of humor and morality in the service, because I have to remind people all the time, we're people. We're people too.
People serving people.
People serving people, and the difference is you can't see when we're having a bad day or a challenging day because we're helping you, but like we have our days, like we feel you feel a little defeated or down or just sad from like our work and what we had to do that day, or you're just mentally your brain's absorbing a lot mentally that day. You're taking on some weight, right? So
the person behind the badge is important too. That's Allison's really good about making sure that we're all taken care of. So that's great to
protect everyone.
She's great. Yeah.
I'll mom them.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're older, they've been a funeral director longer than I've been alive. I'll mom them too.
and we need more people like you, Allison, that care and have that drive and have that passion to lead. You're taking on generations of people who are not just going to be in for a year or two, for a lifetime, because to me this is my career. I want to do this forever.
Ever, right?
Forever.
How do we get more of those people? We
work in
make sure that
progress.
they're happy.
We're trying.
And not only is that group, that millennial group, the Millennial Mortician audience, they want to be found, but they want to have funeral homes that are willing to receive them and listen at the same time. And I think that disconnect that's been happening years prior is starting to close up, because people our age are just starting to say, no, I don't want to work there if you're not willing to open up and see things through a different lens.
Mm-hmm.
And that change is happening now with you guys, with you two, and the work you guys are in the Twin Cities. I love that. I like that phrase. So what advice would you give to students, apprentices, or new directors who are trying to find the right mentor or trying to become one themselves?
I think that's why we work so well together, is we're so passionate about mentoring new people coming into the industry. Obviously, everyone can't work here.
Right.
With me, but how can we extend that outreach to more people? And that's where Hens has done some great work with some mentoring programs she's been putting together. I just think if we want there to be a next generation, which I assume we do because we care about people, right?
Yes.
And also, I want to retire. I know, like at some point, I will not work here till I'm 96.
We all serve very large communities, and we have a really big footprint in those communities, and we need to continue to serve them properly.
Yeah, and how they want to be served.
Right.
Right.
With the merchandise that they want.
Yeah, exactly. So Hens has sort of opened that up using her mentoring mortician, using the M's like you.
Mortuary mentor.
There you go.
Yeah.
Talk about that. Tell us.
So I kind of reached out to different mort-sized schools, specifically ones that had big like online programs. And because I don't think everybody had as good of an experience as I did with mentorship. And I want to make sure that people continue to have a good experience. So our goal is to start a mortuary mentor program where people can email in like questions, concerns, anything they need. Like we'll meet on Teams, start a larger network of people, and it's all across the US. So like anywhere someone is, if they don't feel like they can go to someone with a question, a concern, or if they just have like a general, like, I didn't really understand the way I was explaining this. Can you guys maybe give me a different viewpoint on it? Sure.
Right.
Ask a question. We'll get your response back. Go up with maybe someone that's near you under like one of our rooftop questions, or if people are just getting into funeral service, they want to like job shadow or just curious about other position options, we can help with that too. I just want to make sure everybody is taken care of. I want to help everybody because I'm passionate about this job. I know Allison is, and I want people to be taken care of properly and enjoy their job and not have a learning experience. Yeah. Be treated well, have like a good work culture. And I also want the families we care